Barrow Jibrin, I represent Kano North in this August Senate. Mr. President, I would like to begin my contribution by looking at the revenue side of the budget. The revenue side of the budget is always the most critical, the most important of the components that make up any sound budgetary process. Because if you fail to get it right in the area of revenue, then the whole budgetary process will become an exercise in futility. Mr. President, the revenue projection with respect to the 2017 budget is lopsided towards earnings that are going to accrue to us from the oil sector, where a barrel of oil is predicated to be sold at the price of $42.5. This is a very good projection. It is very conservative. When one look at the current price of barrel of oil in the international market, which is hovering between $52 to $53 per barrel, and looking at the position of OPEC to cut down on production so that the price of crude will further get improved. And it's been taught by experts that the price might go up to $60 per barrel before the end of the year. This is fine. Mr. President, where we have problem is our projection in terms of our daily production of 2.2 million barrels per day. This is a bit ambitious, looking at the dynamics in the Niger Delta.
And the parameters.
Although the federal government is doing well to really bring peace, total peace in the Niger Delta, but I think much effort should be put to make sure that we are able to get things properly put in place to bring total peace so that we can achieve these projections. It's doubtful. It may not be actualized, but well, let's be hopeful. And I urge the present government to push harder. If not, we may have problem in actualizing these very important targets. Having said so, Mr. President, let me say I'm not also happy about the projection in terms of our spending in the recurrent side of the budget. It's going to the tune of 2.97 trillion, while the capital spending is projected to be about 2.05 trillion. My expectation is that the capital side should be a bit larger, seeing the fact that we have a lot in terms of our need to develop our infrastructure, to put a sound environment for the private sector to thrive. But what we're having here is far from what we expect. It's far from what our expectation is. Mr. President, a lot of people have spoken, a lot of distinguished have spoken about sectorial allocations. I would like to talk about the allocation to the education sector. This is quite, I'm not really happy about that. We all understand, we all know the importance of education to our zeal to develop our country, to really bring about the needed human resources development we need to drive a sound economy in this country. What you can see here from the projections of capital spendings made in the various budgets of our various universities, you find out that you have less than 100 million allocated to each university. Most of the universities, sorry. It's only lucky ones like I think ABU and BUK that got above, and Abuja that got above 100 million. This is very sad. This is a sad commentary in respect to our zeal to develop our educational sector. This is quite bad, Mr. President. We really have to understand the dynamics in the educational sector. You have, innovations coming up every day where you need better equipment for our universities so as they can compete with other universities in the world. And you also need to, continue to redo their infrastructure, renovate their infrastructure, so that they can really move in terms with, move along with modernity. But this is quite inadequate. It's quite inadequate. So we need to really look at this and do something to improve on this budget here in the National Assembly. And it's most, where I'm most worried is the allocation to the newly established universities. They need more money. They need money to get established. You cannot establish university and leave them unattended to without the needed infrastructure. A mere 160 million is given to each of them. It's not enough. Each of them at least needs not less than 20 billion naira. So I will urge my colleagues, we are going to make sure in my committee to find a way to get at least 10 billion, to recommend 10 billion each to be given to this new university so that they can develop their campuses. Some of them are not even fenced. When you take an instance of what is happening at Dusamba, the university is closer to where bandits are. Where you have bandits in the Kazana area, creating problem. Moving into the camp.
Steve, you have to round up now, please.
So what I'm trying to say is that we need to really improve on the budget of this university. At least give them, we should give them at least 10 billion naira so that they can improve their infrastructure. With this, I urge my colleagues to please look at what these universities need, education sector as a whole, so that we can improve on their budget, so that they can really perform their function in providing knowledge to our youth. Thank you, Mr. President.